Hi there, my name is John Stevens, pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we're part of the ELCA. And this is Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where we take a look at the lectionary text and we tie them to an item from the Dollar Tree. And now this is for All Saints Sunday, which is November 2nd, for the narrative lectionary looking at Elisha heals Naaman. And this is going to be almost identical to the Revised Common Lectionary Children's Sermon, focusing on All Saints Sunday. It's just a little bit of a twist on just how you present it, but it's the same object that I'm using from the Revised Common Lectionary. Now, the item that I'm using, the idea came to me a while back with something that I have on my wall, that I have hanging in my office wall, and it's the Moses action figure. So a couple of weeks ago when we had the giving of the Ten Commandments and the parting of the Red Sea, this was fantastic. I was able to play with this for a while. But this idea of the Moses action figure brought this to mind about how in God's sight, if you walked into God's toy store, there would be an action figure of you on God's wall. On the toy store of God would be an action figure for you, because that's what God thinks of you, that God loves you so much and God thinks so highly of you that God would create an action figure just based around you. And so the item is that I'm using from the Dollar Tree is an action figure. And now you could grab an action figure from your house or whatever, but I like the idea of it being in a box and all sealed up. And I used this from the Dollar Tree. There was a couple other ones. This one was the least violent. So, I don't know, if you wanted to pull into the Joshua story from last week, you could bring up a more violent one. I don't recommend it. But anyway, so this action figure is the idea that I'm using. Now, with Elisha healing Naaman, this idea that Naaman, he pouts, or he doesn't like the fact that Elisha healed him or just said, why don't you go wash in those waters, and and Naaman's all blah, 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 blah. Anyway, this idea that that somehow it had to be a certain way, or it had to that Elisha had to follow these certain steps for Naaman to consider it worthwhile, and somehow it gets tied back to this idea, for me at least, it gets tied back to this idea that there are times where I think, unless I act the right way, unless I do the right steps, unless I pray the right way, unless I look the right way, unless I am the right way, God won't love me. And the fact is that God makes us holy, and on this day, All Saints Sunday, we focus on that we are all saints, that God has claimed and set us apart in the gift of baptism, in the gift of our washing. God has made us saints. So this is the springboard. This is where I'm going to with this action figure. I hope you can use it, and hope it will spur on some more creative thoughts for your setting, but that's where I'm going with it. And so I hope you have a blessed week. Please, as Peter would say, my son, please remember to like, favorite, and subscribe. I'm still trying to remember those three. So anyway, have a blessed week, and thanks for stopping by.